7 Secrets about Heaven. The Bible reveals there are moments in life when everything becomes quiet, when the noise fades, the distractions lose their grip, and something deeper begins to stir within your soul. In those moments, a question rises that no success, no relationship, no achievement on this earth can fully answer. Is this all there is? Deep down, you already know the answer. There is a longing inside you that this world cannot satisfy, a whisper in your spirit that keeps pointing beyond what your eyes can see. You were not created just for this life. You were not made to chase temporary things, only to watch them slip through your hands. There is something eternal woven into your very being, something that aches for a place you have never seen, but somehow you recognize it. The Bible speaks directly to that longing. It doesn't offer vague ideas or empty comfort. It reveals something real, something powerful, something that changes everything. Heaven is not a distant fantasy. It is a promise. And yet, so many people live as if eternity doesn't exist. They push through the pain, carry silent burdens, and wonder if their struggles mean anything at all. But listen closely. Your pain is not meaningless. Your tears are not forgotten, and your story does not end here. There is a reality beyond this broken world where everything is made whole, where every loss is restored, and where love never fades. Heaven is not just a place you go to someday. It is a truth that reshapes how you live right now. When you begin to understand what God has prepared, fear starts to lose its power, and hope begins to rise in a way you cannot explain. Today we are going to uncover 7 powerful secrets about heaven revealed in the Bible. Truths that will not only open your eyes, but awaken something deep within your heart. Number 1. Heaven is a real place, not just a state of mind. There is a quiet misconception that heaven is only a feeling, a poetic idea meant to comfort the human heart. But the Bible speaks of heaven with clarity and certainty, not as a vague emotion, but as a real place prepared by God Himself. This is not symbolic language meant to soothe the fearful. It is truth meant to anchor the soul. Scripture describes heaven with details that point to reality. Streets, a city, a dwelling place. Jesus spoke of preparing a place, not a concept. That word place matters. It means intention. It means design. It means you are not drifting toward nothingness, but towards something that has been carefully, lovingly prepared. Think about that for a moment. The same God who designed the mountains, the oceans, and the stars has also prepared eternity. If this world, broken as it is, can still take your breath away, what must heaven be like? Untouched by decay, untouched by sin, untouched by time. It is not less real than what you see now. It is more real. This truth changes how you look at everything. Life on earth begins to feel like a journey, not a destination. The struggles you face are no longer meaningless interruptions, but steps along the way. You begin to understand that you are not losing time, you are moving closer to home. And deep within you, something responds to that idea of home, not a physical house, but a place where you finally belong without fear, without pretending, without breaking. Heaven is not unfamiliar to your soul. It is the place your spirit has been reaching for all along. So when the world feels unstable, when everything around you seems uncertain, remember this: your future is not abstract. It is not a fading hope. Heaven is real, prepared, and waiting. And that truth alone has the power to steady your heart in ways nothing else can. Number 2. Heaven is where God's presence is fully revealed. On this earth, we experience glimpses of God. In moments of peace, in answered prayers, in quiet whispers during our darkest nights. His presence draws near. But even in those sacred moments, there is still a distance, a veil between what we feel and who He fully is. Heaven removes that veil completely. It is the place where God's presence is no longer partially known, but fully revealed. There is no separation, no confusion, no wondering if He is near. In heaven you will not seek Him. You will be with Him. The Bible speaks of seeing God face to face. And though those words are simple, their meaning is overwhelming. To stand in the presence of perfect love, perfect holiness, perfect truth, without fear, without shame, is something beyond what human language can fully capture. Every longing you have ever felt for peace, for acceptance, for understanding, it finds its answer in Him, not in a distant way, but in a deeply personal, unshakable reality. You will be known completely, and yet loved without condition. That alone has the power to heal parts of your heart you may not even realize are broken. Imagine a place where loneliness no longer exists, not because you are surrounded by people, but because you are fully connected to the one who created you. The emptiness that sometimes lingers, even in crowded rooms, disappears in the fullness of his presence. This is why heaven is not just about beauty or reward. It is about relationship. Perfect, uninterrupted relationship with God. Everything else flows from that. Joy, peace, purpose. They are not separate gifts, but the natural result of being near him. And even now, as you listen, there is something in your spirit that recognizes this truth. Because you were never meant to live distant from God. You were created for closeness. Heaven is where that closeness is finally, completely restored. Number 3. There is no pain, suffering, or death in heaven. Every person carries something unseen. A memory that still hurts. A loss that never fully healed. A quiet ache that words cannot express. On this earth, pain feels woven into life itself. No matter how strong you are, suffering finds its way in through broken relationships, sickness, disappointment, and grief. But heaven is the complete end of all of that. The Bible speaks clearly. There will be no more death, no more mourning, no more crying, no more pain. This is not a temporary relief or a brief escape. It is a permanent, unchanging reality where suffering no longer exists at all. Think about what that truly means. Every tear you have ever cried, seen or unseen, matters to God. None of it is ignored. None of it is wasted. In heaven, those tears are not just wiped away, the very source of them is removed forever. The brokenness of this world does not follow you into eternity. It is hard to imagine life without pain, because it has always been part of our experience. But that is exactly what makes heaven so powerful. There is no anxiety about tomorrow, no fear of losing what you love, no hidden wounds waiting to resurface. The cycle of hurt is finally completely broken. For those who have experienced deep loss, this truth carries a special weight. The goodbye that felt final is not the end of the story. The suffering that seemed unbearable does not define eternity. Heaven is not an extension of this life. It is a restoration beyond it. Even now, when life feels overwhelming, this promise becomes an anchor. Your current pain is real, but it is not permanent. It does not have the final word. There is a future where peace is not fragile, where joy is not interrupted, and where your heart is no longer carrying what it was never meant to hold. And in that place, you will finally understand what it means to be whole. Number 4. Heaven is a place of joy beyond human understanding. On earth, joy often feels temporary. It comes in moments. A celebration, a victory, a beautiful memory, and then slowly fades as life continues. Even in our happiest seasons, there is always something incomplete, something that reminds us that the feeling will not last forever. Heaven is entirely different. The joy found there is not dependent on circumstances. It does not rise and fall. It does not fade with time. It is full, constant, and deeply rooted in the presence of God. This is not surface-level happiness. It is something far deeper, something unshakable. The Bible describes heaven as a place of celebration, worship, and fullness. But this is not forced or distant. It is a natural overflow of being exactly where you were meant to be. When everything is restored, when nothing is broken, joy is no longer something you chase. It becomes your reality. Imagine never feeling empty again, never questioning your worth, never searching for something to fill the silence inside. In heaven, that searching ends. You are complete, not because of what you have, but because of who you are with. This joy is not loud in a chaotic way, but deep and steady. It settles into your soul and stays there. It is the kind of peace that cannot be shaken, the kind of fulfillment that does not leave room for doubt. It is knowing, without hesitation, that everything is as it should be. Even now, you may have tasted small glimpses of that joy. Moments where time seemed to pause, where your heart felt light, where everything made sense, even if only for a second. Those moments are only a shadow of what is to come. Heaven is where that feeling becomes eternal. No interruptions, no endings, no fear of losing it. just joy that continues, grows and fills every part of you. And when you truly begin to understand that, something shifts inside. You stop clinging so tightly to temporary things and start longing for what will last forever. Number 5, we will have new, glorified bodies. Right now, your body carries the marks of time. It grows tired, it feels pain, it ages, and no matter how much you care for it, it cannot escape its limits. Sickness comes, strength fades, and there are moments when your own body feels like something you are struggling against rather than something that fully supports you. But the Bible reveals something extraordinary. This body is not the end of your story. In heaven, there is a transformation waiting, not a loss of who you are, but a renewal, a glorified body that is no longer bound by weakness, no longer affected by disease, and no longer subject to decay. This is not about becoming unrecognizable. You will still be you. Your identity, your essence, your uniqueness will remain. But everything broken will be restored. Everything limited will be lifted. You will finally experience what it means to exist without physical struggle. Imagine a body that does not grow tired, that does not feel pain, that does not carry hidden tension or silent suffering. No more fear of diagnosis, no more decline, no more watching your strength slowly slip away. That entire reality is left behind. There is something deeply comforting in knowing that eternity is not lived as a spirit drifting without form, but as a fully restored being. You are not meant to exist halfway. God's design for you is complete, body and soul, whole and perfected. And for those who have endured physical suffering, this promise carries even greater meaning. Every ache, every limitation, every quiet frustration of the body is temporary. It does not define your eternity. It does not follow you into heaven. One day, you will stand fully restored, strong, whole, and free. Not because of anything you have done, but because of what God has prepared. And in that moment, you will realize that what felt like loss in this life was only making way for something far greater. Number 6. Heaven is a place of reunion and perfect relationships. There are few pains deeper than separation. Losing someone you love, saying goodbye when you are not ready. Carrying memories that feel both beautiful and heavy at the same time. On this earth, even the best relationships are touched by misunderstanding, distance, and eventually loss. But heaven tells a different story. It is a place where separation no longer exists for those who belong to God. Reunion is not a distant hope, it is a promised reality. The connections that were broken by time and death are restored in a way that is complete and lasting. This does not mean simply returning to relationships as they were. It means something better. Every relationship in heaven is free from conflict, free from jealousy, free from misunderstanding. The love you experience there is pure, without tension or fear of it ever being broken again. Imagine seeing those you have lost. Not through memory, not through longing, but face to face. No more final goodbyes, no more wondering, no more unanswered words. Just presence, connection, and a shared eternity in the presence of God. And beyond familiar faces, there is also a deeper unity among all who are there. Differences that once divided people on earth no longer exist. There is no comparison, no competition, no hidden resentment, only peace, understanding, and genuine love flowing from God Himself. This speaks directly to one of the deepest needs of the human heart, the need to belong, to be known, and to be loved without condition. On earth, we experience glimpses of this, but never fully. In heaven, that longing is finally fulfilled. If you have ever felt the pain of loneliness, even in a crowded room, this promise matters. Heaven is not a place where you fade into the background. It is a place where you are fully seen, fully known, and fully connected. And when you begin to hold on to that truth, the grief you carry starts to shift, not because it disappears, but because it is no longer without hope. Separation is not the end. In God's plan, it is only temporary. Number 7. Heaven is prepared for those who choose God. Heaven is real, beautiful, and eternal. But the Bible is equally clear about something many people try to avoid. It is not automatic for everyone. This is not about exclusion or favoritism. It is about relationship. God does not force eternity on anyone. He invites, He calls, He reaches, but He also allows you to choose. From the beginning, God has desired that no one be separated from Him. His heart is not to keep people out, but to bring them in. That is why the message of salvation is so central. Heaven is not earned by being good enough, because none of us could ever meet that standard. It is received through faith, through turning toward God and accepting His grace. This truth carries both comfort and weight. Comfort, because you do not have to strive endlessly to secure your place. The door has already been opened. The way has already been made, but it also carries responsibility, because a choice still remains. You cannot ignore eternity and expect it to shape itself around you. There are many distractions in this life, things that pull your attention away, things that convince you that this world is all that matters. But deep down, you know that is not true. There is something within you that recognizes eternity, something that understands that your decisions now are not just temporary, they echo beyond this life. God's invitation is not distant or complicated. It is personal. It reaches into your life, as it is right now, into your doubts, your struggles, your questions. You do not have to be perfect to respond. You only have to be willing, and this is where everything becomes real. Heaven is not just a teaching or an idea to think about someday. It is a destination that is shaped by what you do with God today. The direction of your heart matters more than anything else. If you feel something stirring within you, do not ignore it. That quiet pull, that sense that there is more. This is not sluxionists. It is God calling you closer. Heaven is prepared, the promise is certain, but the response is yours, and that choice is more important than anything else in this life. Conclusion. Heaven is closer than you think. There is a truth that gently unfolds through everything you have just heard. This life is not the end of your story. No matter how real your struggles feel, no matter how heavy your burdens have been, they do not define your eternity. There is something greater ahead, something prepared, something promised, something that cannot be taken away. Heaven is not a distant dream meant to comfort the weak. It is a reality that gives strength to the weary, hope to the broken, and purpose to those who feel lost. When you begin to see life through the lens of eternity, everything changes. The things that once felt overwhelming begin to lose their power, and the things that truly matter become clear. You start to understand that your life has direction, your pain has meaning, your faith has purpose. Even in moments when you cannot see the full picture, you can trust that you are moving towards something far more beautiful than anything behind you. And perhaps the most powerful truth of all is this: heaven is not just waiting at the end of your life, it is already reaching toward you now. In every moment, you choose faith over fear, hope over despair, truth over doubt. You are stepping closer to what God has prepared. This world with all its beauty and brokenness is temporary. But what lies ahead is eternal, a place where you will be whole, where love will not fade, where joy will not end, and where God Himself will be with you completely. So do not live as if this life is all you have. Lift your eyes beyond what you can see. Hold on to the promise that your story is leading somewhere greater. Because heaven is real, it is near, and it is worth everything. And one day, you will see it, not as a hope, but as your home.